College football season kicked off last weekend, but you didn't have the big names involved, and therefore it was called Week 0. Tonight's games, though, got some ranked teams, and at first glance, the programs competing tonight don't look like playoff contenders, but just because you're not highly ranked at the start of the year doesn't mean you can write them off. Go back to 2010, Auburn Tigers. Preseason ranking was 22. They went on to beat 4 teams that were in the top 25 and capped it off by winning the national title. We've had an unranked team, Clemson, back in 1981. And granted, that's a whole different generation for college football. But when it comes to college football, you can't be sure what the ratings really mean. But you're kind of going off last year. You have the transfer portal. You have players who are going to make an impact. Look at USC. You get the transfer portal, and you got some players who are going to make a larger impact. You got a new coach, a couple of new coaches. So there's a lot of things. It's difficult to try to handicap how good a team is going to be. But if you're looking at the usual thoroughbreds, the blue bloods, you can expect Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State to be up there at the end of the year. This is something that I talked about over a year ago. Took a lot of heat on it, but I still go back to my source is impeccable on this when I said that the College Football Playoff Board of Managers, they were trying to speed up maybe getting a playoff expanded in 2023. And they were looking at 12 teams. Now, I emphasize, that they were trying. I even said to Paulie, go back and look at my wording here because people thought I was saying it's going to happen. They were going to vote on it. They were trying. Well, why wouldn't you? Let's put it this way. Let's say we won the lottery. Let's say we won a lottery and it's 2025. That's when I get the payout is 2025. But if I say, let's negotiate this, we can get another payout, might not be as big, or we could get it sooner in 2023. That's all this is. It's a lottery ticket that you get sooner, not later. Oh, I was told, don't believe what Dan Patrick's reporting. Doesn't he know there's a contract? They have a contract. And I go, do you realize how much money is at stake here? If everybody's going to agree to break the contract, who cares about a contract? You got billions of dollars here. They got a contract. I went, oh my God. And then it was, I'm reporting that they're voting on it. It's going to happen. I just told you, all I said was that this is being discussed to try to speed it up. Why? I don't know why people were going apoplectic. And now, the report now is they want to move it to 2024. Can we do it in 2024 instead of waiting until 2025? Of course they do.
But they have a contract.
Oh, I know. I heard that from many of the insiders in college football. Look, if I get a story, I tell you. If I have a source, then I tell you. It's not my job to be a college football insider. But when I get information from people I trust, I serve this audience. Not to be a college football insider or an NFL insider. I got better things to do. I respect that these people do this. That's their business. But when an outlier comes in, oh my God, can't be right. I was right on this, and I stand by it. My source is impeccable. Yes, Paul.
And that's exactly what the report is yesterday from Pete Thamel, and ESPN also reported on this, that the College Football Playoff Committee's Board of Managers will hold a virtual meeting on Friday that could accelerate the playoff expansion to as early as 2024. Of course they are.
And that's all they were thinking of doing for 2023. They couldn't get it done. They couldn't get all of the commissioners to agree because it was an 8-3 vote in February. Big Ten, ACC, and Pac-12 voted against an original 12-team proposal that would have included the six highest-ranked conference champions plus the next 6 highest-ranked teams. Well, if you look at the numbers here, the conferences and Notre Dame forfeited roughly $450 million in potential revenue. Since then, ACC, Big Ten, Pac-12 have voiced public support for expansion. It was too quick, but what I told you was true. My source said they're trying. This has been a topic. Can we speed it up? And you know what? They're trying again now for 2024. This is no different. It's just a year later, and it's 2024. And when I told you this, it was 2023. If they weren't trying, I'd be shocked. So I don't know, why it was that big a news. They were trying because the money's at stake here. How much money's at stake? Now you got 12 teams, 12 schools, more excitement, more money. Bowl games will mean more. Yeah, Paulie?
I can tell you why. If you go back and look at the articles after we reported this, people said, Dan Patrick reports that college football playoff coming in 2023. They paraphrase it and pump up the headline to not match the report, which is lazy. And I'm going back and looking at these articles. And just like the thing, there's articles right now. 2024 college football playoff on the way. No.
It's not.
It's being pursued.
But that's clickbait because then they put a question mark and then you click on it. I was not doing clickbait. I was telling you what was actually happening.
It was being done on your behalf. You know what I mean? And you can't control what blank.com puts out there.
Yes. I serve this audience. I'm not here to be an insider. Other people do that job, and they do it far better than I do, and they do it on a consistent basis. But when I have a story, I report this story. I don't troll you. I don't, try to get hot takes here. This is just what happens. And that's what happened yesterday when Pete Thamel reported this. It's no different than what I reported a year ago. It's not. But, let's see what they do if they vote on Friday, and then we'll find out. But who was surprised if they want to move the time frame up? Where are all you insiders with they got a contract here? Well, they still have a contract, don't they? Just report it correctly. That's all. You may not want to give me credit. That's fine. But if you are going to report it, then report it correctly. That's all. Just be fair to the situation. All righty. Yes, Paul.
This one may not make you feel any better. Remember yesterday we were discussing the possibility of Urban Meyer coaching.
Yeah.
We were discussing the possibility. We were not reporting anything.
No.
And I brought up Nebraska. Then you also said that there's a guy who knows a lot about college football. And you guys were just discussing the future of college football.
Well, he was listening to the show.
And he said to you, here's a couple places I could see as being possible stops for Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
And he said Arizona State and Nebraska.
Yeah.
You even said on air, this is not a report. There's no news. No one's reached out to anybody. There's not an active pursuit or anything. No. 3 different websites put out Urban Meyer to ASU, Urban Meyer in play for Nebraska, Patrick Show.
Yeah.
Again, I actually had to send emails to a couple places and say, this is not a report. This was a discussion.
Yes. My source on this said, hey, Paulie's onto something with Nebraska, but here's the school to keep an eye on. Because Arizona State, according to my source, is a sleeping giant. I don't know if they're pursuing him. I was just told that if Urban is going to go back and coach in college, here are a couple of schools that would make sense. And I was told he probably wouldn't go back to the SEC, that he would probably go to a place that does have strong name, image, and likeness, and that they're a sleeping giant. Nebraska and Arizona State. And he's the one, my source said Arizona State. But he said, hey, everything would be in play if Urban and Nebraska, if they move on from Scott Frost. But my source did go on to say, give Scott Frost time with these players who transferred in, because he does have a lot of talent, and they could right the ship here. But he said Arizona State is a sleeping giant. It's easy to get kids in. It's a party school, and you're in a state of flux with the Pac-12. So you could be the class of the Pac-12 or whatever it is. Yes.
You got to imagine Urban Meyer, though, when he's thinking about NIL. He's like, oh, finally.
Yeah.
Someone to get me back in there.
Yeah. But this is what I was told. Once again, there's no report. I'm just telling you. Keep an eye on this.
No, you said.
Well, no.